And welcome back, everybody. Bill Huddleston along with the head coach of the Muskogee Ruffers, Josh Blankenship, to our weekly Ruffer Coaches show here on TV 15. Josh Blankenship, last Friday night, big crowd, alumni band, everybody came home for homecoming, and the Ruffers sent them home with a win over Shawnee.
That's the way it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Exactly.
Fans fill the stands for the homecoming game. You've got all the festivities that surrounded everything. You've got the alumni band performing, and then we finished off with a win. You couldn't have it any other way.
You said going into the ball game that it was imperative that the Ruffers began looking at each contest as if it were the playoffs, and I think that's kind of what maybe drove through the final outcome.
Well, we kind of play with the words a little bit. We say the playoffs are called the playoffs because you either show up to play or you're off, and that's kind of the approach we're taking. Starting last week was we've decided that we don't want to put ourselves in a tiebreaker position with the playoffs with the way our district has played this year. There's a lot of talented teams and a few of them that aren't going to be in the playoffs. To avoid any tiebreaker situation, we said we got to win out.
Well, in last week's ball game, while there may have been expectations of a big offensive showing, I think it was truly the defensive side that kind of set the tone for the ball game.
I feel like they've set the tone throughout the year, and the offensive guys have been trying to meet up to that tone that the defense is setting. They continue to fly around, make big plays. West Star, again, had a great game with a couple interceptions, and when you stop the other team from scoring, you've always got a chance to win the ball game, and that's obviously why we've done the things we've done as far as who we put on defense and the decisions we made a long time ago.
Well, as they always will tell you, if there's a 0 on your opponent's side of the scoreboard, the worst you can do is tie and go to overtime.
That's true.
But last week, a big win for the Ruffers in a district contest against Shawnee, kind of kept the pace going. Let's take a look at some of the defensive highlights from last weekend's victory out at Indian Bowl as the Muskogee Ruffers entertained the Shawnee Wolves, and we just get a chance to see it right out of the beginning.
You got Chandler Heath with a big play right there. They had a big old tailback that obviously hard to bring down. Great job by him making that play. Our linebacking core has kind of been the heartbeat of our defense, and when you guys got guys flying in there like Colmer there, flying in to make that sack, it really sets the tone for the way your defense is going to play.
Yeah, I think the offensive line nor the quarterback knew who was going to come from where.
They knew somebody was coming, though. Vic with the big hit right there made that guy wish that the Q probably wasn't going to lead him across the middle anymore.
Here's one of the 2 interceptions that West Star picked up on the night.
Great play. You know, what excites me most about that play is him being coachable. We had actually worked that several times in practice, and he actually did exactly what he was coached to do and found himself in position to make the play on the ball.
You see, keep your eye on the ball.
And obviously get another opportunity, and the best thing Wes did in this situation was, again, being coachable, but once he got all those bodies around him, he actually went down.
Yes, he did. But he looked like he wanted to carry the football.
He wants to score, and I understand that. Everybody does. And him making the plays that he's making, he's got a little bit more freedom than some of the other guys do.
And we kind of forced the quarterback completely out of the screen there and then get the big play over on the sideline.
Great pressure again. Dylan Rice with the pressure, forcing him to flush out. And obviously when you get that quarterback leaving the pocket, we got to have other people flying around too.
Just again, another individual play there by West Star,
and
making the tackle.
Got guys making plays all over the field. Star, again, with the 2 interceptions, and I believe he had 10 tackles, again, pacing our defense. But you've got guys making plays all over the field. You got the boys up front, Colmer and Wes in the linebacking spots, really able to make a lot of plays because of the work that guys like Kyle Lewis and Dylan Rice and Jamel Ingram and Chandler Heath and those guys continue to make.
This guy that takes up a big spot right there in the middle, and you saw that last highlight. I mean, you reached out and just says, come back.
Well,
99 was going to get the job done.
Big, strong arms, you can yank on him a little bit.
Exactly.
So he's doing his job. That nose guard position, he continues to rotate more and more and more in. You know, he got in with us a little late this summer, and for him to have battled through and have basically put the coaches in a position that we can't keep him off the field because every time he's in there, he produces.
Well, we're talking about Kyle Lewis, who's the nose guard. You saw number 99 in that last defensive sack just reach out and grab the offensive player and stop the forward progress. How much fun is it playing the nose guard?
Sure, it's pretty fun. I just keep my head up and fight every day at practice, and just keep on persistent.
Yeah, I guess you were excited to get back out there because this is senior year and a chance for a big guy like yourself maybe to open up some future opportunities.
Yep, I'm just trying to keep going.
What is it that's making you so successful in that defensive front?
I guess Coach Heath. He teaches us every day. He teaches us new things. Teaches how to persist and keep going.
Now, you guys ever go one-on-one? I mean, I'm sure that Coach Heath, I mean, you're going to have the size advantage on Coach Heath, but I think he's got the, would he have the upper hand on you?
I don't know. He's kind of
old. Great addition to the defensive front. I mean, there's a guy that, I mean, many times they're going to have to put two on him to get him out of the way.
Absolutely. He's big, strong, and he's got quick feet, and he's got quick hands. But what I love about him more than anything is, besides what he brings athletically, is his attitude. He's been a guy that's bought in since day one, and he doesn't just buy in, but he preaches it. We go through struggles, and Kyle's the guy that stays solid for us. We have success. Kyle stays focused for us. We got to have more like him, but he brings that solid foundation to what we're trying to do.
What were you guys specifically doing last week that would enable that defensive front to put so much pressure on the quarterback?
Oh, it's just trying to fight as a team, sticking together instead of just being individual. Just keep going hard.
Got to play your spot.
Yep.
Play your technique, right?
Yep.
Now, this week, a little bit different type situation, but still an opportunity to kind of force the tempo.
Yeah. Just, I guess, try to keep pressure on their line this week because they like to run a lot.
They do like to run a lot, but when you're able to get in the quarterback's face and get in his grill and then put him and get up off the pile and see him looking back up at you, that's a nose guard's dream come true, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Indeed it is. Kyle Lewis, he anchors the defensive front. It's pretty easy to spot him out there. That 99 is a big load for the opposing offensive line to try to move out of the screen. And Kyle, just keep up the good work, my man.
All right.
Let's see if we can't get another win this week.
All right.
Kyle Lewis, he's our defensive player of the week. We come back, we're going to take a look at some of the offensive highlights and give you a chance to meet this week's champion of the week. That will do that after the timeout. You're watching the Muskogee Rougher Coaches Show here on TV 15. And welcome back to the Muskogee Rougher Coaches Show. Bill Huddles along with the head coach of the Muskogee Roughers, Josh Blankenship. The win last week over Shawnee did exactly what you wanted to. Come home, play again in front of the homecoming crowd, send everybody home with smiles on their faces with a victory. And a lot of big offensive plays in that game last Friday night.
We did. We had a lot of big plays all across the board, special teams, offense, defense. Obviously, the sloppiness came with the penalties and the poor decisions in some situations. But there were a lot of good plays, a lot of positive things that happened. Obviously, we've got a saying that the film's never as good as you think it's going to be, and it's never as bad as you think it's going to be.
Sure.
Well, we felt like we had played a really sloppy game. Obviously, the penalties indicated that also. When we went back and watched the film, we really did a lot of good things, especially offensively and how we moved the ball. You eliminate those mistakes, and we're really dynamic.
Yeah, because some of those penalties actually stopped scoring drives and gave the ball over to Shawnee. But let's take a look at some of the highlights offensively from last Friday night's victory, homecoming night victory. We'll just start right off the top with Rondell Cooper.
Well, we knew we had to do some things in the run game a little unique to how they were loading the box. So we obviously right there at the beginning, you see one of our receivers coming in, and we also brought over Cameron Owsley to work a little fullback. We had a lot of guys stepping up. To start the game, we had three new starters. We tried to rest some of our guys that were banged up. We got in a situation at the very end of the game where we decided to plug them in for the fourth quarter to seal the victory. But we had a lot of new faces out there that really showed up and executed well.
Good second effort there by Coop to pick up the first down.
Yep, and we're trying to get better at seeing the sticks and getting to the sticks in key situations. Anthony King is really growing up fast for us, the sophomore receiver. Great catch there on the slant route. One of the things Trevor's really throwing well is his slants and his comebacks, and then obviously our bubble stuff. The biggest key to the bubble is how we're blocking on the outside, so it's a great job by Rondell. But what I love watching is those two receivers out there blocking for him.
Exactly. Passing just continues to get better. I mean, there's actually a double pump and then a better move after the catch.
It was actually designed to be a tunnel screen, and then when we got a guy in Trevor's face early, he had to kind of clutch it, and it was really turned out into a positive thing out of something we weren't quite sure how it was going to turn out. Great catch there by Vic.
Not a very good spot, though.
Well, we kind of got used to that as the night went on. Again, slant route. Actually, it's just a quick catch. When we actually, at the Monday of practice last week, we said that there's a pretty good chance that if you'll be efficient in just your quick game, you could probably catch a hitch route and go to the house. And obviously that almost happened there. We got to do more of this. Every time we hand the ball to Vic, we have positive plays. And him coming in the backfield or being a fly sweep or a bubble screen, or obviously we're doing things to get him the ball in the passing game, and he just produces for us. Right there, you bring Vic in and do what we call a little hedge, where we make sure we seal that unblocked end and open up a nice lane for Rondell to get through there.
Punch it down close, and then on the very next play, you reward him with the opportunity to put it in the end zone.
Well, we can call it reward. To me, it's exactly what we have to do in that situation. You get down, and that's an attitude thing. We got to get in the end zone. Again, great blocking on the outside. I mean, it's just something as simple as a little bubble screen. When guys do their jobs on the edge, you have a 9-yard gain.
And without them, you get tackled in the backfield.
Exactly. We got a little momentum here in the first half. Kind of got them on their heels a little bit, so we decided to throw a little fade there. And obviously, when you execute, good things happen.
Indeed. 6 points for the Ruffers. Just continue to watch the offense and the continued maturation of Trevor Giles, the quarterback.
Trevor really played a good game, and he would never blame anything on anybody, but his interceptions were not on him. We got to get guys running the correct routes at the right times. But he continues to deliver every week. He's had, since we started district play, I think he's been playing really, really well and keeps getting better every week.
Pretty good yards after contact there on Rondell's part, keeping the ball moving downfield.
Especially in the situation. I believe we were approaching the end of the half, and we, you know, logic would tell you we need to be throwing the ball, and obviously we did a little of that, but for us to be able to handle a little zone, inside zone, and trust Rondell to go get the yardage and trust those guys up front to block for him says a lot.
Yeah, Anthony King on that previous play just opened the opportunity for him to get extra yardage after the catch.
Mm-hmm. Great catch again by Anthony there. Great throw by Trevor on that slant route, threading it right behind that flat player.
And this is an added weapon to the football team no matter when you play, because when you got a guy like Preston Soper that can boot it through from 49 yards out here, that's strength.
And I've gotten better at trusting him, and in my play calling. I don't have to get as greedy in certain situations. We get down anywhere past the 50, and there's a pretty good shot that Soper's going to be able to poke that thing through. And again, he does it again. He does it time and time again. And when you're that consistent, you start trusting those situations, and it betters the team.
Well, when you saw how far that ball finished across,
we might could have kicked it from the other side of the 50.
He might could have had another school record. I mean, he set one last year with 53 yards, so maybe a chance for it this week.
Well, I hope we actually get 6s, but instead of those 3s. But obviously, we have that opportunity. We might give it to him.
But 2 3s make a 6.
That's true. I want a 6 plus a 1.
Okay, there we go. But let's talk about this guy who joins us, a guy who's grown up as a Ruffer. I mean, he comes from the Ruffer family of football players, and we bring in Marcus McVeigh, or Junior as he's sometimes called.
Marcus is he's a guy that when we've got several of these guys, but he's our champion of the week, and he does everything we ask him to do. He's coachable, he's polite, he's a yes or no sir guy, very liked and loved amongst the faculty here at the high school. The teachers love to have him in class. They appreciate his attitude, his work ethic, and it goes under the radar. It's nothing flashy. It's not some glamorous service project or some big. He just does everything right every day, every way. And we wanted to recognize him because he does that. And then you add on top the way he's grown as a corner, stepping in with not a whole lot of experience playing corner and executing the way he has and getting better week by week by week. We're so excited about Marcus.
Marcus, let's talk a little bit about the family tradition, because a lot of our viewers may know, and many may not, that you actually have a little history in the family running up and down the sidelines of the Ruffers, because your dad played as a quarterback, right?
Yes, sir.
Does he ever relive those days with you when you guys get to the house and tell you how good he is?
Yes, all the time. Like, he'll always talk about how, as a matter of fact, when Coach Blankenship came, he said this could be our year that we're going to state.
Yep. Of course, those were glory days for the Ruffers and days gone by, and I'm sure he still remembers those, just as you will, trust me, when you get to be Dad's age. But how much fun is it to go home and talk football with somebody like your dad?
It's great. I'm really blessed that I have the opportunity to talk to someone with that much football experience, and you know, every time I need help with anything, I just ask him about it, and he usually has the answer.
But most of the time, he's probably going to tell you, go ask your coach.
Yeah.
And just knowing Mac, I'm sure that'd be the case. And you see the smile there? That's the same smile that his dad had when he played. But Coach calls you a champion. What does being a champion mean to you, Marcus?
Being a champion is, you know, is doing what you know is right all the time without someone watching over your back all the time.
Somebody not telling you to do it, but you just do it because that's the way you live.
Yes, sir.
So how exciting is this for you this season to be in that defensive backfield? No people may be going to try to pick on you. So how do you get your game in?
I just got to learn to adapt. You know, my dad always tells me a man always learns to adapt. And Coach Warrior and Coach Blankenship always tell me, you know, they're going to throw the ball to your side, so you got to be ready for that week, especially being the first year at corner. So I just got to be prepared for the game.
Because sometimes when you're out there in that corner, you can be out there by yourself. But that's not an empty feeling for you, because I know you feel like you got 10 other guys surrounding you with your back, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great guy. Great lineage. I mean, knowing his dad, when I first came here, Josh, I mean, I was watching Marcus Sr. play. And now to see Junior come just makes me feel happy still to be here.
And old.
Okay, you said that, but hey, we'll take it out on him in practice today. How about that?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Marcus McVeigh, who plays in the defensive secondary, he's our champion of the week, and we really appreciate your efforts. Just keep up the good work and keep that smile, too, because that'll charm everybody, including the girls.
Thank you.
Marcus McVeigh, who's our champion of the week, joining Coach Blankenship and myself. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some questions from some of our viewers for the coach, finding out a little bit more about the background of the young Josh Blankenship.
Thank you.
And we'll take a look at the standings coming into this week's ball game against Putnam City West. That after this timeout, you're watching TV 15 and the Muskogee Rougher Coaches Show. And welcome back to TV 15 and the Muskogee Rougher Football Coaches Show. Now, a lot of you are trying to learn more about this guy to my right, trying to find about all of his childhood days. And so, Coach, we've just gone around our community, gone to some of the elementary schools, and let the kids ask the questions. So let's roll the tape and see what June has to ask of Coach Blankenship.
Hello, my name is June, and where were you born?
Where were you born, Josh?
I was actually born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We were living in Sand Springs at the time, and I was born in St. Francis Hospital there in Tulsa.
Now, you obviously, well, we'll get to the next question and I'll ask you a little bit more, but let's see what Logan has to ask the coach.
Hi, my name is Logan. Coach, what school did you go to?
What school did you go to?
Went to a bunch of schools.
That's exactly right.
When you're a coach's kid, you tend to move around quite a bit. We lived in a town called Spiro for a little while, so for kindergarten through third grade, I went there. We lived in Edmond for a little while, went to an elementary school in Edmond called Chisholm Elementary, and then we moved back to Tulsa. I went to Union, graduated from Union, went to the University of Tulsa, Eastern Washington University, and Northeastern.
And got that final degree, and everything's all said and done. And then, of course, a few stops along the coaching trail before you landed the job here at Muskogee. Glad to have you here. But now, the big question that all the kids out there really want to know. Let's see what Brady's got for Coach.
Hi, my name is Brody. Coach Blankenship, are you married?
Are you married, Josh?
I am married.
Oh, all the girls' hearts are now broken.
I doubt that. My wife's name's Lindsay, and we actually went to rival schools growing up. She was a cheerleader at Jenks, and I was playing quarterback at Union, and so I feel like I won. I got her. So.
Yeah, indeed. You got the homecoming queen, right?
You got to.
Exactly. You know, what many people may not know is actually Josh lived in Austin, Texas for a while, and Lindsay was there at the same time, but the two of you did not know each other.
No, didn't even.
Both of you got back to Tulsa.
Didn't even know that we were both living there at the same time, and then it wasn't until a couple years later we ran into each other at a Christmas concert.
And then, of course, now you've not only joined that union, but you've added to it.
We've got a little boy named Barrett. We just had his 2-year-old birthday party.
The terrific twos.
Oh yeah, that's why they call him the terrific twos. He really is awesome. And then little Gracie, she's almost 8 months old now.
Yeah, and what you don't realize is that Gracie's got Dad wrapped around her finger.
No question about that.
Exactly.
Already.
And Mom too, and I'm sure Grandpa as well, right?
Oh yeah, he's loving it. It's first girl, and I think we figured it out 4 generations down my paternal line.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing.
I can promise you, just knowing what's ahead for this young lady, it's going to be a fun life, Gracie. You're going to enjoy it because the guys are going to take care of you.
First female quarterback at Muskogee High.
Speaking of football, Josh, getting us back to our coaches show, this week, Putnam City West, Thursday night ball game. Is it hard to get prepared in a short week?
I think it's difficult. It's difficult any week, but what I always remind my staff and myself is they have the same amount of time to get ready for us. So it's not like they've got an extra day and we're being shorted a day. We have the same amount of time as our opponent. The tough thing about this week is the complexity of the offense that they run. They kind of run an old school wing tee